Hey, it's Joe AMoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Have you ever been in a relationship with a guy where everything was going great? You had so much in common, you had this amazing chemistry, but you just couldn't get him to commit. No matter what you did, no matter how much you loved him, he could just never be fully in. Well, if so, I want you to pay close attention because one of the questions I get all the time, in fact, I got this the other day in my inbox, why is it that some guys are emotionally available and won't make a commitment? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video because there are actually 3 reasons why a guy won't make a commitment. Now, what you have to understand is that it's not always that a guy can't commit or won't commit. In fact, the first reason is that a guy just doesn't want to commit to you. Now, I know that may sting a little. It might hurt your ego. It might help yourself. It might hurt your self-esteem, but it's actually a good thing because do you want to be with a guy and be in a relationship with someone who doesn't value you enough to commit to you? I sure hope not. You deserve so much more. So if a guy doesn't want to commit to you, that doesn't mean that he's afraid of commitment. I hear it all the time. You know, a woman who's in a relationship with a guy and she's like, you know, he didn't want to get married. He didn't want a commitment. And then he meets someone and a year later she finds out that he's married. And she's like, I don't get it. Like he couldn't commit to me. And it's simply you weren't what he was looking for. That doesn't mean that you're bad. It doesn't mean that you suck. It's kind of like, I look at it as like flavors of ice cream. He wanted chocolate chip and your Oreos, your cookies and cream. Okay. You just weren't what he was looking for. And that's okay. Because I'm sure there's been a lot of guys that you've been involved with who are nice guys that were looking for a relationship or commitment, but they weren't what you were looking for. Didn't make them wrong. They're just better for somebody else. So just because a guy doesn't want to commit doesn't mean that he has commitment issues if it's with you. Now, if he has a history of not committing to anybody, that's a different story. So that's the first reason. The second reason, and this may be a little hard to accept too, is they just are. There are a lot of guys out there who are emotionally unavailable and who don't want to commit to a woman because that's who they are. Now, I believe in studying human behavior that there's something going on underneath the surface as to why these guys are emotionally unavailable. And usually there's some kind of unresolved emotional issues, some emotional pain, which causes them not to want to be in a relationship and a committed relationship. So I know it's like, it sounds simple, but that's really just how it is. So you have to use this to your advantage. You know, if a guy's emotionally unavailable and won't commit to you, do you want to spend your time and energy trying to make him commit? If that's not what he's willing to do, he doesn't want to naturally be the guy who wants to commit with you because he realizes what an awesome and amazing woman you are. And he realizes that if he lets you go, it's going to be a huge mistake and he's going to regret it because there's no one else out there who's just like you. Right? So that's the second reason, is that they just don't want to commit. You know, that's just who they are. Okay. Now, the third reason, and this kind of ties in with the second reason, is what's going on underneath the surface. The reason why they're emotionally unavailable and they don't want to commit is that they're actually afraid of commitment. See, some guys look at commitment kind of like a box. It's like, and if I get into this box, there's going to be a lot of pain. There's going to be a lot of displeasure. I'm going to lose out on a lot of the things I like my freedom. You know, I can't do what I want, when I want, how I want to. You know, I'm going to lose out on my independence. I'm going to lose out on my ability to have sex with whoever I want to have sex with. You know, again, I call those guys, those are the emotional boys. You know, those are the guys who are emotionally immature. And they're not good relationship partners because if you're going to be in a relationship, you want to be in a relationship with someone who says, you know what, I can be in a relationship and still have my freedom. I can be in a relationship and still have some of my independence. Now, again, it doesn't mean a license for hedonism, that I'm in a relationship and I'm going to do what I want, when I want, and how I want, and I don't care how it affects you as my partner. That's not what I'm talking about. It's what I call healthy freedom, healthy independence, where you have that, you walk the fine line between kind of, yeah, I'm in a relationship and I'm committed to you, but I also need time for myself to do things that light me up, that empower me, that make me feel better about myself. So, you know, I really hope that you understand that it's not about, you know, you being in a relationship is this death sentence. And that's how a lot of guys see it, is they really see commitment, especially guys who have been married before and who have had really bad experiences. You know, I always use the analogy for a lot of guys, especially as they're older, if they've been divorced already, they look at marriage and commitment a lot like food poisoning. So it's like they had this really bad bout of food poisoning that almost killed them. Okay, and in a lot of cases, it financially, I don't want to say necessarily bankrupted, but really put a tremendous hurt on a guy's financial status. And so in his world, it's like, why would I want to go back and eat at that restaurant again? You know, when I ate there last time, I got deathly ill and I almost died. And so in my mind, why would I even consider doing that? And I'm not to justify it or rationalize it. You can understand in a guy's world why he could see things that way. Just like if you've been in a relationship and you've had your heart broken and another guy comes along, there's a part of you that's like, you know what? If I really open myself up and become really vulnerable, I can get my heart broken again. And so, you know what? I'm a little timid by that. I'm going to put up some walls. I'm going to hold back, whatever it may be. So it's just human behavior. It's not wrong. It's not right. But that shows you where a person is emotionally. And that's why it's really important. So I really hope this helps. I want you to go back and watch this and hopefully gives you some clarity as to why, you know, some guys, not all the guys, some guys are emotionally unavailable and can't make a commitment. Now, my philosophy is simply, if a guy's showing you he's emotionally unavailable and can't make a commitment, just accept it for face value. He's actually doing you a favor. But I know a lot of people need to know, but Joe and I hear it all, but I need to know why. Well, if you need to know why, this video is just for you, because these are the three reasons why some guys will be emotionally unavailable and won't make a commitment. So, love to hear from you. What's been your experience? Have you dated any guys like that? Have you married any guys like that? And if so, what did you learn from that relationship, and how can you use it as you go forward in your love life to turn that mistake into an expensive learning lesson? So go ahead, put your answers down below. If you have any other questions, comments, or feedback, put those in the box below as well. I read them all. As always, an honor, privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much love.